What's up, people? Punch here. So I want to talk about Sand Raiders of Sophie again, mainly doing a tutorial video talking about what to do in the game, what to expect, and how it kind of works out. Mainly because I was playing with some people, and there is this deal with the community hub on there screaming about PvP being a potential waste of time, or that it's like something that's going to ruin the game. Let me tell you, PvP is optional because I've gone into these different maps or different games with these people, and not every single time I haven't gotten into PvP, but we did PvE stuff and helped each other out, and there were a lot of people that didn't understand what they were doing. What you're seeing is blueprints to where there's different walkers. You could choose them whether you lose one from combat or you just want to customize your own. And when you start the game off, when you're in your little gear up mode and then your load up trampler, you have these different items. You'll have med kits, grenades. You have to get ammunition for your rifle or pistol, which you'll start off with a BP, blitz, or revolver. These are things that I got from all the different extractions later on, from a rare, uncommon type of like cannon to a high tier, very rare rifle that I found inside these cities. But when you go and load up your trampler, you have to make sure that when you get the cannon, you have to get ammo for it. Otherwise, you can't use that specific gun. From the 80mm cannon to 40mm cannons and the shotgun cannon, you have to make sure that you have the right shells. For example, you have these blue ones that are 80 stack that are 40mm. The 31 stack are 80mm, and those are the bigger shells. They're a lot slower, but they hit harder. The 40mm are a little bit smaller, but they are faster fire rate. And then the shotgun is more like a point blank range type of weapon. So you would have to get really close in order to use that. But make sure that when you do put the weapons on the trampler, that you have to put the ammunition with it. The other thing to take with you is the canned food that allows you to respawn on your trampler if you die multiple times. And last but not least, the rods, which is 17 stack. That is your fuel for the trampler. So if you do run out, you can't bring it with you to the evacuation and have all the stuff on it. You'll only be able to extract with the stuff that's on your person, and whatever is on the trampler that's left, that's all gone if you can't bring it with you. But when you get into the actual game, these are your actual mounts for your guns. They'll be in pieces. You pick them up and you put them by holding the F button on the actual mount itself, and then it'll put the actual gun there. I put the 80mm in the front, and in the back I put the 40mm. The other thing is that when you want to pick up bulk amount of stuff, pick up the green boxes that have no logo on the top of it. It allows you to get more stuff to be able to put out there. So if you want to get a bunch of bulk of like ammunition or stuff for your turrets and rods and food, you will need that, because if you do put that stuff on your person, it only carries one shell at a time. So these green boxes are an absolute must. And when you're done, you can go ahead and put it on the shelf. But these rods, if you want to use them, you can go ahead and put them on your person. I think it's up to 5 stack, and you can get up to the top portion of the actual trampler itself. But these are the different types of compartments. You have the refrigerator, which allows you to put the food in there, your bed that lets you respawn, and then this is the actual motor itself. The motor will have a fuel gauge that will tell you how much fuel you actually have and how long it's going to be before it completely runs dry. But when you put it in there by holding the F button, it'll put in this purple type of rod, and then it'll go up about 50% for the fuel. But when you put the turrets up and you put the fuel in there, you're ready to go, other than reloading your weapons, because it's always 0 default. They're always unloaded, and I'm bringing a repeater rifle and a police revolver with me for the actual guns on top of me. Then you have your armor, which is about 2 armor for me, but the base components on your character are binoculars, which are pretty good. You can see pretty far with them. They don't have magnification, like you can't zoom in and out. You have your own personal map that shows you where you are. But when you look on the map, you see these circles. These are evacuation locations. These are where you would go if you want to try to get out on voyage mode. There's 2 modes in this game. One is a more battle royale, to where a circle gets smaller and smaller and smaller. That's called Storm Dive. The one that everybody should be playing is Voyage, which is exploration to go into these cities. You've seen those dots with names on there? Those are cities and forts you can go to that have the best or better loot to get. Very rare weapons, very rare items, food, parts, utility stuff. Then you have the other different types of tools. You have a headlamp. You have a flare gun that has different colors like green and red. Green is mostly trying to do friendly. Red is like PvP or, enemy. If they don't respond, they're probably going to shoot you anyway. The other thing is the multi-tool. This is used to repair your mech. So if you take damage, you have to go to these pipes or these like squares on the ground. That allows you to repair it so that you can go faster. Sometimes you'll lose speed as well. So highly recommend that everything's ready to go. When you do turn the motor on, you'll have this billowing smoke pop up that you really can't do anything about. People will see that from very far away. And as long as you're situationally aware, you could see it too of other people. If you go to an area like, say, for example, you're stopped at like a boat or a capsized ship or even like a city area, you turn that off so it's harder for people to see you. You have two different speeds, and you have halt, which stops it completely, and then you have reverse. When you turn right or left, you can go twice, which is 1, 2, and then left, 1, 2. And if you want to go faster for right or left, you press the Q and the E key that allows you to go a little bit faster when you're turning. But if you want to go for tighter turns, you go a little bit slower. If you go too fast, you'll hit into stuff. Like if you have a steep hill and you hit it, you'll actually take damage. If you hit into a rock, you'll take damage and you'll stall. So watch out, because if your legs are broken, you have to get off the Trampler to go and repair it. The other thing is that when it comes down to the weapons itself, you have to make sure that they're loaded like the 80mm cannon. By default, it will always have 0 inside of it, so you have to load it in the chamber. The 40mm, not so much. It's always got ammunition as long as it's in there. But the 80mm takes a little bit to reload when you actually do it, when you fire the first shot and the second shot. But as I said, if you hit stuff with it, it does quite a bit of damage. Now, when it came down to the server slam, they added some new things from the previous betas. They added these kind of NPC tramplers that don't take very much to destroy. If you shoot them with the 80mm, it takes anywhere between 4 to 5 shots to blow them up. And when you do blow them up, they do drop a crate that has pretty good stuff, such as fuel rods, metal alloys, and some scrap stuff. But you have to go over there and grab it. Sometimes, too, they'll drop like a repair kit that's kind of like a multi-tool, but it has a canister on it. It's just another thing they also drop. As I stated before, when it comes down to voyage mode, what you're doing is you're going to these different areas and you're finding a bunch of loot to bring back and evacuate with it alive. If you go to these cities, a lot of the good stuff that you're going to see is here. So I highly recommend getting a green crate to get all the bulk of stuff, because you're not going to be able to carry all the things on your person. So you can go to these rooms that have like these really good boxes that are either red or green, and they'll have logos on the top of them. And there'll be food, there'll be utility parts, there'll be rare weapons, there'll be rare type of items, or even like rare goods like coins. That's basically the currency in this game that's needed to get the other parts or skills from the skill tree. But what it boils down to when it comes down to the crates is that you have different tiers. You have brown, which is common. You have green, which is a little bit higher tier, and then you have red, which is the best as far as I'm concerned, because that's the very rare weapons and tools and utility parts. When you go to these areas as well in these cities or forts, you'll see these broken kind of doors. All you need to open them is a grenade or a timed bomb, and then you'll blow them open and get these really sweet loot that you can grab inside. From the green meat kind of crates to the safes that have the rare goods, or even the red boxes that would be in some other areas of the city. So when you're playing Sand Raiders of Sophie, just keep an eye out for those different types of places, and they'll be around the map the entire time you're kind of exploring in your Trampler. The other thing I wanted to show off is the day-night cycle for this game, which I think is pretty cool. You go from day, kind of dusk, into like nighttime. You see the stars up in the sky, and the planet kind of like glows at night. This is a little bit easier for you to kind of wander around as well. It's a little bit more difficult to try and like see people in the dark, especially when there's like sand out there, or like this fog of war. But you've seen that kind of icon that popped up? They have these things in the game called beacons that will go from like a weird kind of hazard level to an eyeball that goes from a circle all the way. And when that happens, that's when those 10 kind of tramplers that are NPC will come down and try to shoot at you. Like I said, 80mm will take them out in about 4 or 5 hits. 40mm is a couple of bursts and then they're gone. They're not a really big deal compared to like the PvP kind of aspect to it. But once again, I wanted to show off kind of the environment in this game, because somebody was asking, is there like sandstorms or is there like rain in this? No, but there might be a thing for that later. I'm not really sure. We'll kind of see what happens when the game comes out the 22nd of June. Technically, it was supposed to come out June 10th, but they said that they got it pushed back because of all the problems that they were having, from server-side problems to registration to a lot of weapon despawning and items not working, kind of going on in the actual server slam. Some other things I forgot to mention when it comes down to the mech itself: you could do a horn that allows you to honk at people, and you have emergency stop with the space bar. But here's the PvP aspect to this. This guy was chasing me for about maybe 5-10 minutes, and I let him shoot first because some people won't shoot at you if you initially shoot at them first, and they'll be kind of like decent. They want to talk to you in voice comms, which is hold down the C button. But he was chasing me for a while, and I didn't understand his trampler because I kept shooting at the thing. He would get, 1 or 2 hits on my guy, but I just kept hitting him constantly with my 40 millimeter, and he would take shot after shot after shot, and his trampler would just still keep going. It wouldn't stop. Normally, you would hit that thing enough, and it would be disabled on the legs, compartment destroyed, whatever, but he just kept going, so I didn't know what chassis it was. It's kind of hard to tell. But basically, when it came down to it, is that all you gotta do in PvP is keep going. If they disable your trampler, don't panic. Go on there, repair your stuff, get the pressure pipes ready to go, and keep going. As long as there is nothing obstructing your trampler and you keep going back, looking at the helm, and then turning into another location that lets you go farther out into the open, keep doing that. Keep going behind kind of hills and just shooting constantly. That's the reason why I have the 40 millimeter in the back and the 80 millimeter in the front. If somebody's coming at me in the front, I could just turn around and shoot at them with that. But the 40 millimeter is pretty good because, again, though it's a little bit difficult to shoot when you're, going because of the inaccuracy of bouncing around, it could be a little bit easier to deal with when they're trying to come after you because they can't see you either. The other thing about the 40 millimeter is that it's constant fire. It's not just like I reload after every shot with the 80 millimeter. It's constant fire as long as I have the ammo inside the thing to use it. So if I have a bunch of shells, like 210 shells to shoot at the guy, I'm going to keep going until I have none left. The other thing is that when it comes down to the 40 millimeter is that it has high fire rate, but don't go full blown because it'll overheat really fast. So do short control burst and just keep hitting them with it. The other thing before the end of the video is that the game will be $25 when it comes out. They came out with a kind of like silver lining setup. A lot of people thought this game was going to be $40 because it's a tiny build publisher, but it's going to be a 21% discount for $20, and full asking price is $25. But I'll put the link in the description down below for people to check out, including the link to where they were talking about the pricing. That's all I got for this one. I've been One Nut Punch. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.